Today I'm sitting in the office, sitting in the natural light. I wanted to, I don't know, I've been feeling like because I'm so pale and, you know, dull from being in the house. It was just such a nice bright day and I wanted to sit and bask in the sun. So here we are. Today I'm going to be addressing what I mentioned in my last video, that we're going to be reattempting a purple look. I tried this once before, if you guys missed that video. It was a tragedy, and I recently picked up the Huda Beauty Lilac Pastels palette, and I wanted to give it a try. I did try practicing this beforehand, and it was a disaster. But I think that might have been because I put too much concealer on my eyelids, so we'll test it out today. I just wanted to casually get ready with you here today. I stole Dan's purple sweater to put on in an attempt to enhance the purpleness that we'll be doing today. So that's that, guys. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having a beautiful day, and let's just play with some le maquillage. Let's start with the primers. I'm going to use the MERCIER primers here. Nikki_makeup has been using these so much, and I just have been inspired to continuously pull them out every time I see her use them. She's so amazing at makeup. I love following makeup artists on Instagram. I love seeing what they post and dreaming of what I can't do on my face. I'm taking the hydrating one and I'm just putting that all over my face. I'm so dry. I have not been putting my humidifier on, and I really, really need to. My skin's just been extra dry because of it, so I'm just putting a lot of that on. It's really nice and tacky feeling. I like it. And then I'm going to go in with the illuminating primer, the pure canvas primer, and use this to really amp up the glow. So I'm rubbing that between my fingers, and then I'm just going to place that on the high points of my face. Just like kind of starting from the cheekbones and blending upwards towards the forehead. That's kind of like in general where I want all of the glow and shine to be on my face anyway. Look at that. Look at that nice little sheen. Now for our base, I wanted to show you guys the new Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Concealer in action. So I'm pairing it with the Luminous Silk Foundation because I feel like it just makes sense to put these sweet things together. I don't really understand the shade numbering and how they name the shades and how they number it. I don't really understand. Somehow I have a shade 5 in the foundation and a shade 5.75 in the concealer. So that doesn't really make sense. The concealer's deeper. I'm just gonna pump that on the back of my hand and grab my makeup sponge and blend that in with the sponge. The shade 5 is like my perfect pale, like this is my most pale. This is as pale as my skin will get. And the shade 5 is my perfect match. I know a lot of you use me kind of as a reference point with shades. I get a lot of DMs and messages about that, which is pretty cool. I love it when you guys message me about that. I'm like, oh my god, we're the same. But for those of you who do inquire, when it comes to this foundation, if that you happen to use that as a reference point, 5 is my perfect shade. And then yeah, I use the 6 when I'm more tanned. So I took 2 pumps, and honestly the sponge soaks up a lot of that, but I still think it gives like quite a nice layer to the skin. I don't want to add too much because we are going to go in with a lot of concealer. Oh my god, I have a zit on my neck. What the frick? What is happening? And when I use a sponge with that foundation, it is just a really nice lighter base. Anyway, so before I go in with that concealer, I'm going to take my Tarte CC cream. My dark circles have been very dark. They've been very purple, speaking of purple. And I'm also going to apply some on my eyes. Maybe we're using our nicer camera today, so maybe you can see when I talk about the veins on my eyes, this is what I mean. Like I've got a lot of very visible veins on my eyeballs, and that's why I always like to apply concealer or something on there. So when I do this under eye concealer, I'll take it up my eye and I'll usually just kind of flop it around with my finger. And because this is a color corrector for the purple and deeper bags underneath your eyes, I find that applying just a little bit of that if I'm feeling particularly dark or deep, it just has a nice color correcting effect. So I'm taking a little bit of that up on my eyelid as well. Okay, so now in with the concealer. That's a little bit deeper than normal, but that just means we'll have to go in with lots of bronzer after to even it out. And honestly, like, it'll blend in nicely. It's fine. But I should definitely consider picking up a lighter shade because it's just so much deeper than my skin currently, but I love the finish of it. It's a wonderful everyday concealer. I have different concealers for different things, like many things, like primers and foundations and whatever, but this one kind of slots itself in between things. Like, this is an everything concealer. Like, it's light enough for me to wear it on a daily basis, and it also has the finish that I love for like going out or event makeup. So if I'm wanting like crazy full coverage, I'd go for something like the Pat McGrath concealer. But if I'm, you know, having a better skin day and I just want something a little bit lighter but still gives that overall lovely flawless skin-like finish, this is a great concealer. Very, very similar to the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. Like, I get the same feel from it, but just a little bit lighter. It's a little bit lighter. Like, it just really looks like your skin, which I like a lot. So that's the base. It's fully covered, but you can still see your skin, you know? Okay, so now let's take the new Fenty cream products for a whirl. I wanted to try the bronzers. I have the two shades 2 and 3, Butta Biscuit and Macchiato. I'm gonna start with Butta Biscuit. I might deepen it up a little bit with Macchiato, but I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going in with something a little bit too deep. So I'm going to take the Smith 157 brush, my current favorite life-changing brush to apply cream bronzer or cream contour. It's just perfectly small enough to fit right into that hollow and blend it up, but then it's really nice and dense. So you just, when you're doing like a stippling, pressing motion into the skin, it just works so well. I've been loving using this. So I'm just gonna follow the hollow. Who said that? Oh my god, I don't it just came to my brain, but I don't remember who used to say that. Follow the hollow. Ah, okay. Well, I don't remember. Oh, okay. I feel like this is gonna be totally dark enough for us. This is a great shade. How pretty. Wow, that's really nice. There's so many good cream bronzers and like cream products in general that have been coming out. It's kind of hard for me to differentiate them at this point. Ainsley Curry. Ainsley, if you're watching, I saw your comment. She said to do a cream bronzer comparison. And I think that'd be really fun to do. I'm so down to do like a full wear test, just showing you my favorite, like maybe include it as a top 5, like my top 5 cream bronzers. Because honestly, like the formulas are great. They're all pretty similar. It depends on what shade works best for you. Like this, to me, is a really great shade. I love how this looks. I think this matches my skin tone really nicely. And so in terms of formula, they're all pretty much the same. It kind of just depends what shade you prefer and how it feels and looks on your skin. And if you're a packaging freak, like maybe it just depends on the packaging. If you like it in a compact or if you like it in a stick, there's so many things that go into your preference for a cream bronzer. But for the most part, all the ones I've tried have been pretty great, and I don't really have a formula complaint, so I'm just taking that around the perimeter of my face. So I think Butta Biscuit was totally fine for me. I'm not going to go deeper than that, so I'm going to put Macchiato away, and then I'm going to take a smaller brush, dip it into the cream bronzer as well. I don't know why oh, the plastic's still on here. Perfect, I'm just going to wipe it on there. Such a terrible habit of mine. But I'm going to take that down and attempt a little bit of nose contouring. And I find that once you put the bronzer or contour or whatever you're using on your nose, it just helps to center everything and make it a little bit more seamless across the face, you know? For highlight, I'm gonna dip into MAC Whisper of Guilt, my favorite. I just love this highlight so much. I'm gonna dust it across my cheekbones. Oh, look at that. It's so good. Across the top of the nose and down a little bit and just over the Cupid's bow. As always, I take the same highlighter and I just put that right into my inner corner. Now I am going to use a cream blush. I guess I should use a Fenty one. I grabbed a different one okay, so here's the thing. My friend Ellie, I love you so much. Bless you, Ellie Mae of Ellie Mae Studios. She went to LA like before this whole Corona thing happened, and she was so gracious enough to get me a little haul from Violet Grey. If you've never heard of Violet Grey, they're like a curated beauty boutique, and it's just somewhere you gotta go check out if you go to LA. And she's like, Alana, I'm going to Violet Grey, give me a list. And one product or one brand I tried years ago when I went to LA, I went to Violet Grey, I bought the It was like the Eye Tint Balm by JILLIAN DEMPSEY, and I've always been wanting to try her cheek tints, and Ellie grabbed 2 shades for me, which was so nice, amongst many other things. Ellie, thank you so much. And I was gonna try the Fenty cream blushes, but I just felt like the shade Bloom would go so well with our whole purple theme, you know? So I wanted to dip into this, and it's something I haven't tried before, so I'm using the JILLIAN DEMPSEY Bloom cheek tint for the blush. That was a long-winded story. Anyway, but I wanted to dip into this old, like, guys, this doesn't exist anymore. For those of you who have it, you know, we can all just bask in these sweet memories together. The Becca Sunrise Waves bronzer. I haven't pulled this out in such a long time. This was a limited edition bronzer that they launched, I don't remember when. It was one of these last summers, but it's just such a great bronzer. And because I'm using a cream matte bronzer, I wanted to just go on with a top layer to intensify the glow. In the arms of the angel, fly away. I haven't pulled this out in months, and it shatters. Right when I finished filming this, I dropped it. And it doesn't exist anymore. Anyway, just thought you want to know. So I'm going to take this big Refer brush. This is the Refer 22 brush. And I'm going to swirl it around in this Becca bronzer. And I'm just going to lightly take that across the areas of my face where the sun would hit, and this bronzer just has some lovely shimmer running through it. So it's a mixture of their 3 bronzers and then opal highlighters on the edges, so it's a lovely, lovely shimmery, very glowing bronzer. And so I'm just gonna add a little bit more warmth across my face with this really giant brush. All right, let's give this little JILLIAN DEMPSEY blush a try. So I'm gonna take my e.l.f. small stipple brush and dip it into the blush here. Sometimes cream products will have like a little bit of a dry layer on top, so I just take my finger and I swirl it over top to kind of warm it up. And then we'll just press that onto the apples of the cheeks. It's a very, very light, very sheer formula, which is kind of nice. Sometimes when cream blushes specifically are a little bit too pigmented, you're like, it can be really hard to blend them out. So it's almost nicer to be able to layer them up to the desired pigment instead of having it like smack you in the face right away. I really like that. A lovely sheer purple. I feel like that gave such a natural flush. Oh, I love that. I love how small the packaging is too. It's so funny. Someone commented about that on my last video. I guess a lot of people are complaining about the size of the Fenty cream blushes and then just laughing at how I was so stoked on how cute they were with the small packaging. But when it comes to cream products, I'm always just very aware of the fact that they'll expire a lot faster than a powder product is, and blush especially is something you don't really go through so quickly. So I kind of appreciate when there's not a lot of product because I know that it'll most likely expire before I'm able to use it. You just use such a small amount at a time. So I actually love how cute these little packages are, and for travel too. It's so nice. So yeah. To whoever commented that, it's true. I do think they're very cute and I appreciate it actually. So let's go on to the eyebrows. Before I do the eyebrows, I don't actually feel like I need to apply any powder, but I am going to take my Hourglass translucent powder and just take a little bit of this with a fluffy brush just to put that on the eyelids, just to set in any of the concealer. Like, see, the concealer will kind of create lines in there, so I'm applying powder just to blend and set that in so that when we do go in with the eyeshadow, it's not like congealing into the wet concealer that we've put in there. So I'm just taking my translucent powder and running that over top, and then we'll let that kind of do its thing and sit for a minute while we go ahead and do the eyebrows. For brows, I'm wanting something a little bit deeper than my usual, so I'm taking my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 3. Normally I'd use the shade 2. I've been using the Dior Blonde one, but I want something just slightly deeper today. I'm feeling like very dark in my hair and the tones and whatnot. I kind of want a little bit more of a bold, visible brow, so I'm just using the deeper shade of the brow pencil. And then I'm gonna fill that in. I'm gonna take a big fluffy eyeshadow brush and just fluff that over the brows, and it takes away that crazy thick line that we just drew and kind of softens the whole look of the brow without having to go in with an additional product. Are these bushy enough for you? Okay, now I'm gonna take my soap brows, a little bit of Matte Fix Plus, and brush that into the brows. And I just take my finger and run that through. Et voila, giant bushy brows achieved. Okay, so let's dip into the eyeshadow, the purple. Yeah, let's just dive right in. I'm gonna start with these two little transition shades here. I'm just gonna mix the two together. Ooh, that's a lot of follow. Just gonna go big and smoky with this. I'm not gonna be too specific with where I am placing the eyeshadow. Big and smoky are my favorite things to do with eyeshadow when I do wear it. But I'm running that all along the crease, and then I'm really making sure to bring that into the inner corner, inner area of the eye as well, so as to not leave it alone. So I'm blending it out. This is a big Smith 232 brush, by the way. Fluffing it out like that. These two together are a really pretty transition shade. I think that I will also use that same combination on our lower lash line. I'll put it there for now. If we want to deepen it up later, we can. Now let's go in with the purple. I'm gonna start with this shade. This is the lightest purple in the palette. It's what looks the most lavender to me. If I find that it's not deep enough, I might go over top of it with a layer of this, but I just don't know if that's like the look that we're going for. We can see how we feel, but I'm gonna start with this one, taking a Smith 256 brush. They're very chalky shadows. I'm gonna be packing this lavender shade all over the lid and just pressing it right up to the crease. Is this it? This is it. I guess that's the lavender. I mean, this is working out so much better. Okay, so I was going to just leave it like this, but I feel like the shimmers in this palette can't be ignored. So I wanted to take a little bit of this really pretty iridescent kind of alien purple. Will this even show? But it's super, super light at the same time. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take my finger and place that all over top. It just adds this lovely little sparkly sheen. It's kind of got some pink hues to it. I'm just running that out along the lid for a little bit of extra interest. Okay, and then go ahead and apply mascara. I'm going to apply mascara on the upper lashes, and then I might also grab my Clinique bottom lash mascara and do the bottom lashes too, just to really open this look up. The Tom Ford Badass Black Mascara, you guys. It's just nothing like it. Oh. Okay, and with the bottom lash mascara, this sweet little mini wand, I like to press that, onto my waterline. Oh god. Let's try that again. I like to take the wand and press it right into the root, not the waterline, and I'm just pressing it right onto the edge of the lash. I'm not brushing it all the way through the hair. I press it onto the root, and then I take my finger and run it along the tips of the hairs just to remove any of that excess product. And that helps me anyway prevent too much raccooning with the lower lashes, because my lower lashes are like annoyingly long. They're not serving any purpose. They just give me a black eye when too much product is on them. And then it just gives your eyes a much more like, hello, open look. For the lips, I'm going to take a lip liner. This is the Victoria Beckham No. 2 lip pencil crayon. I got a lot of foundation and concealer on my lips. Please just ignore that, but I'm going to line the lips. And then I take my finger and just rub it in, giving it a more like natural kind of melted into your lips look. Tower 28, Tower 28. You guys know I love the Fire gloss from them. It's so beautiful. And they sent me some of the other shades in their range, so I wanted to kind of try something fun. This one's the shade Magic. I thought it would really go with the theme of the makeup that we've got going on here. It's kind of got some like purple reflex in there, unless it's just reflecting off my sweater. I feel like there's purple in there, right? I'm just gonna take that gloss over the lip liner for a lovely little sheen. Take my hair out. And you guys, this is the finished look. This was my reattempt at the lavender eyeshadow. I did it quite a bit more subdued this time. The sun is out, so it's shining in our souls today, but this is a very wearable, easy way to incorporate some more fun colors into your day, dipping our toes into the pastel lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? And this was beautifully, beautifully not patchy. So that was an exciting discovery. Guys, that last little portion of the video, it got a little bright and sunny. So here's what the look looks like in the fixed light. That's what happens when you film in daylight and the sun comes in and out. But this is the look, the finished makeup. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye.